Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Four podcast. We're back for the football season. Unfortunately, Alex will not be with us today. Hopefully he'll be back with us next time. But let's get right into this with a simple statement or a simple prediction. What is the realistic record for Michigan this year, guys?
I've got 11-1.
That's absurd. That's absurd.
Penn State lost at home. That will be their only loss.
That's absurd.
They must beat Notre Dame, Michigan State, and Ohio State, or else they should fire Jim Harbaugh. Got to beat their rivals.
Bullshit. Jim Harbaugh could go 2-10 and they fucking still be on him all day.
Nope.
All day.
Got to beat the rivals.
He
Right,
signed a 10-year contract. He's staying there. It doesn't matter what he does.
No.
Let's see. Notre Dame lost. Western Michigan lost. They're rolling the boat into Michigan. The big in-state rivalry game. They'll beat SMU. They'll go on a streak and beat Nebraska, Northwestern, and Maryland. And they'll lose 3 in a row to Wisconsin, Michigan State, Penn State. Bounce back to win 2 and then lose to Ohio State.
What is that, 6-6?
Come on.
All right, we got 11-1, 6-6. Are you ready for this, Chris? I'll give you Notre Dame, even though I'm not confident you're going to beat Notre Dame. I'll even give you Notre Dame. All right, you're still losing. You're still losing to Wisconsin. 1. You're not winning at Michigan State. That's 2 losses. You're not winning at Ohio State. That's 3. Northwestern. That's on the road. That's 4 losses at least. And I could throw in Penn State if I wanted to. So you could go 8. You could go 7-5. I'll leave it at 8-4 though.
Yeah. Okay. So we returned pretty much our entire defense and had a 5-star quarterback. And you have us having the same record as last year.
Yep. No, you'll win your bowl game, so you'll have 1 more win than last year.
Oh, okay.
All right. I listen. The Big Ten is stacked this year. I just don't think Michigan, coming off that disturbing bowl loss. They were the only bowl team to lose last year.
All right.
So that means they were the worst bowl team last year.
Moving on to the next team. They choked, Chris. They choked. Yeah, they did choke.
They blew a 19-3 lead in the.
Yeah, I remember. I watched the game.
In the Outback Bowl.
I watched the game.
We all watched the game. It was amazing.
All right. What's the next team?
Michigan State. What's your realistic record for Michigan State?
9-3.
I want to hear this one, Luke.
8-4.
3-4. Yeah?
8-4.
Oh, 8-4?
Yep.
All right, let's think about this one. Realistic record for Michigan State. They got an easy out-of-conference schedule, so they'll win all 3 of those games. They will beat Michigan at home.
No, Herm Edwards has got his boys going this year.
Listen, if Arizona State still had their old coach, I would have given them a chance, but they hired somebody who hasn't coached in 20 years. They have no shot. No shot. So Michigan State will roll them.
Nope.
Luckily, they don't get...
Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State.
And Arizona State.
Okay, then. They don't get Wisconsin. They do get a tough Nebraska team. I think that'll be their only loss. At Nebraska, week 14, or week 12, wherever they play them. At Nebraska, they're going 11-1. They're beating everybody else.
Okay.
I mean, listen. They get Ohio State and Michigan at home. They tend to play well against Ohio State at home. You saw they were...
That's why they lost 45-3 last year.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about at home. I'm not talking about on the road. They almost... A 2-8 Michigan State team was a 2-point conversion away from beating Ohio State with JT Barrett. Listen, it wasn't JT Barrett that year that Ezekiel Elliott ran all over Michigan State's defense in 2014. They don't have J.K. Dobbins is good. He's no Ezekiel Elliott. Give me a break. So they're beating Ohio State. Michigan can't win in East Lansing. They're winning that game.
That's 2 years ago there.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. And then Penn State. That's going to be a tough game, but Lewerke's better than McSorley, so he'll outduel him again.
Oh, my God. I cannot believe you just said that.
And Penn State will be coming off a emotional game the week before against Ohio State. Michigan State will just roll in there. They won't even be thinking about him and just pull out a nice win. Now, Northwestern could be their biggest test of the season. At home against Northwestern, that's going to be a really tough game. It could go to 4 overtimes this year instead of 3. But because they're the home team, I got Michigan State winning that one. All right. 11-1.
That's absurd.
No, if you remember, in 2015, the year Michigan State made the playoff, their only loss was at Nebraska. I'm thinking the same thing this year. All right, let's move on to Ohio State.
11-1. Lost to Michigan.
No. 10-2.
10-2. I got them.
10-2, and they'll make the playoff.
I got them going 10-2. Only losses are to TCU and Michigan State.
That's absurd.
Is it?
They'll lose. They're going to lose to TCU and Minnesota.
A way to be confident in your team.
Minnesota is just like Iowa from last year. I'm telling you.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
That's absurd. I don't know what you've been smoking.
But this year they're not going to lose by 30, so they'll make the playoff.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, guaranteed.
I disagree. They're not even making it. They're not even making it to the Big Ten championship.
Ohio State loves to give the committee loves to give Ohio State their first championships, first CFP championship, first time didn't even win their conference, get in, first time didn't even win their division, got in. And this time they'll be the first 2 lost teams to get in.
And Alabama will be the first 2-loss team to get in this year.
Alabama's going to run the table.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not. I got them losing to Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M. Anyways, it's a different conversation. Let's move on to Penn State.
9-3.
10-2.
I got them losing to Pitt. I got them losing to Wisconsin, Michigan State, and Michigan. 8-4.
10-2.
Yeah, they might be 8-4. I might be there with you. I don't know.
Ohio State.
I got them at 8-4. Yeah.
Pitt.
They'll lose to Ohio State, Michigan.
I think
No, and Wisconsin. 9-3.
Pitt is the sleeper team this year to make the playoff.
Who?
Pitt is a tough team.
He didn't say Pitt.
Yes, Pitt. And they have
What have you been smoking?
they have a great coach. They have a good quarterback. You know, Pitt's always been known for their football over the past couple of years. They've been one of the most mediocre programs of all time. You know, they got to take that step somehow to relevancy. I think they'll do it this year.
The key to Penn State's season is their first game at home against Appalachian State. It brings back memories when Michigan played Appalachian State at home when they were in a fifth-grade team in the nation when they lost. Watch out, trap game right there.
Interesting. Okay. Let's move on to Wisconsin.
10-2.
They'll go 12-0.
Yeah,
By the way, The Michigan-Ohio State game. The Michigan-Ohio State game will decide who wins the Big Ten East.
No.
And decide who will win the Big Ten.
Yeah, when an 8-3 Michigan team rolls into Columbus, it won't matter. I got Wisconsin going 11-1, and their only loss will be to Iowa. Iowa will get their one big home win of the year against Wisconsin.
Is that their special game? Like their blackout game or whatever it is?
I don't know. Probably. When Iowa's quarterback decides to go nuts for some reason. For one game of the year. All right.
Kirk Ferentz is the second best coach to ever coach in the Big Ten.
Yeah, he couldn't even coach at Maine. How is he gonna be a good coach in the Big Ten?
He couldn't coach at Maine. Why'd they hire him?
I don't know, but they fired him after like 2 years because he did a terrible job. All right.
Now.
Let's move on to what is the best team in the Big Ten this year?
Ohio State.
I've got Michigan.
I think Wisconsin is the best team in the Big Ten. And I think Ohio State's the second best team. And Michigan State's the third best team. The fourth best team is Penn State. The fifth best team is Northwestern. And the sixth best team is Michigan.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is so awful.
No,
How could you
listen.
They're returning everybody. And they have the 5-star quarterback.
You lost to South Carolina.
I don't
Every other Big Ten team won their bowl game.
Yeah, with Brandon Peters as our quarterback.
Okay, I don't know what your point is.
Shea Patterson, 5-star quarterback, will be our quarterback.
No, we'll get to Shea Patterson in a bit. He's one of the most overhyped, overrated players I've ever seen.
Oh my God.
We'll talk about the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten in just a second, but listen. I think Wisconsin's the best team. Ohio State's better than Michigan State. The only reason why Michigan State's going to win the Big Ten East is because Ohio State has to go to Michigan State to play. I think Ohio State's still a better team. Penn State is Penn State. Even though they'll go 8-4, they're still a better 8-4 than Michigan.
Hey, Chris, you know who else is a 5-star quarterback?
Who's that?
Ryan Carew.
Ricky Town?
You never heard of him. Ryan Mallett. He committed to Michigan, but he
Ryan
transferred.
Mallett's nasty.
Well, he transferred to Michigan.
Yeah, that's
Terrell Pryor, he's a good 5-star quarterback, but they only work out when they go to Ohio State.
yeah. No, all the 3 stars go to Michigan State and become 5 stars. All right, let's move on. Who will win the Big Ten East and West this year?
Michigan and Wisconsin.
Ohio State and Wisconsin. But watch out for Purdue in the Big Ten West. Sleeper team.
Oh,
I got
goodness.
Illinois.
I got
Coming out of the West.
Purdue is going 4-8 this year. I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you kidding?
Have you seen their schedule? They're going to get destroyed by their schedule.
No. Jeff Brom is one of the best coaches.
No. Missouri, loss. Boston College, loss. Wisconsin, loss. Iowa, loss. Minnesota, loss. Nebraska, loss. Michigan State, loss. I could go down the line. Indiana, loss.
Northwestern, win.
No, Northwestern will beat them. Northwestern will beat them.
Win.
No.
Boston College, loss. Nebraska, win. Illinois, win. 2. They'll lose 3 games all year.
Nope.
4 maybe.
They're going 4-8 this year.
Don't sleep on Illinois. They're pretty good. They might come out of the West. You got a good shot.
All right, no joking around here. This is a serious podcast. All right. Yeah, Michigan State and Wisconsin. It'll be a hyped up Big Ten championship.
No, it won't, because those are 2 non-brands that nobody likes.
Exactly. That's exactly what.
Yeah. Michigan's not even the biggest brand in their state. They're the biggest brand in college football.
Western Michigan's a way bigger brand.
Roll the boat.
Yeah, Western.
Michigan is the biggest brand in college
Listen.
football. It needs to be either
Exactly.
that or Ohio State for it to be hyped up.
Luke is completely correct on this one. The row the boat brand is the biggest brand in Michigan.
Oh, no.
Not even close. Not even a question about it.
What about Oakland? I think they might be the biggest.
They don't have a football team though.
That's basketball.
They don't have a football team?
No, they don't.
Oh, God.
But if they did, they'd probably be bigger than Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably play Michigan every year.
What a rivalry that would be.
Well, they play Michigan State because that's their big rival.
Man, we are big rivals.
Detroit Mercy is Michigan's rival.
They had Kendrick Nunn, the nation's leading scorer in basketball, averaged 32 points a game. I don't know if they returned.
No one cares for Michigan or Detroit Mercy.
Let's calm down. All right. Who's the best quarterback in the Big Ten?
Trace McSorley.
Tate Martell. He's not even going to start for Ohio State. That's how deep they are quarterback.
It's an interesting pick. I'll just go through my top 5. With a caveat, I have Clayton Thorson number 1, but if he's hurt, then I have Brian Lewerke number 1. So I'll just say he isn't hurt. So Clayton Thorson's number 1, Lewerke's number 2. I have a tie for 3rd between Alex Hornibrook and Trace McSorley. And then number 5, I'm going to have to go with Adrian Martinez from Nebraska.
Oh, my God. Did you say Hornibrook?
Yeah, he's 3rd. He's tied for 3rd with
He deserves
McSorley.
to be number 2. He deserves to be number 1.
Did you see my rankings earlier? I had Martinez like 10. He's awful.
Have you seen... Go look up the highlights of Taylor Martinez, Nebraska's old quarterback. He ran for like 4 touchdowns of over 80 yards.
Yeah, he sucks.
Taylor Martinez was the greatest quarterback I've ever seen play the position. I am so scared to play them. You won't even believe it. Taylor...
I got McSorley. Then I got Shea Patterson, which I don't know how he's not in yours.
Because he's overrated.
Then I got O'Rourke, Dwayne Haskins, and then Alex Hornibrook.
I have Lewerke, Hornibrook, Haskins, Tate Martell.
Okay. I don't know why you're leaving out Thorson. I think everybody sleeps on Clayton Thorson. I don't understand
Tate
it.
Martell, 5-star recruit. We have a 5-star recruit coming in, Tate Martell.
Clayton Thorson is the best quarterback in the Big Ten right now. And it's not even close. It's not even close. But people don't realize how good he is.
But Mike, I think you forgot something.
What?
Tate Martell's a 5-star recruit.
I don't care. Listen, Shea Patterson, have you seen his stats for his Power 5 teams? He was awful against Power 5 teams last year.
He was a freshman.
I watched the Cal game. He was terrible. He threw like 4 picks. He is a turnover machine. He's like John O'Korn with a better arm.
He threw for the most yards in a game in Ole Miss history.
I don't care. That doesn't matter if you turn the ball over 5 times.
No.
He's like Brett Favre, only worse. All right. Let's move on. Who is the best running back in the Big Ten?
Teron Higdon.
Oh, goodness.
I've never even heard of this guy. What? How you guys
Oh, my God.
J.K. Dobbins is the best running back in the Big Ten.
Chris Evans is a close second.
Is Mike Weber... Is Mike Weber still at Ohio State?
Yeah, he's there too.
I got Mike Weber number 1. I have Jonathan Taylor number 2. L.J. Scott number 3.
The fumble machine.
No, he fumbled. He had 3 fumbles in one game and didn't fumble the rest of the year. And I got Dobbins number 4, and then number 5 it's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with the replacement for Saquon, whatever his name is.
You forgot Higdon.
No, I did not forget Karan Higdon. In fact, I have Chris Evans above him.
As a freshman, Dobbins ran for 1,400 yards.
Yeah, and
7 yards carry.
Taylor ran for 1,900 yards and set the rookie record for rushing.
Oh, Dobbins is number 2. Taylor's number 3.
Yeah, well, if Dobbins took all the carries and didn't have Mike Weber, who's also nasty, on his team, maybe he would have ran.
No, because everybody was so afraid of Mike Weber, they just let J.K. Dobbins run all day long.
J.K. Dobbins was the starter.
Doesn't matter.
Just play a crappy team every game.
Mike Weber was a better running back.
No, false.
No,
Plus Taylor, plus
you're
crappy
wrong.
Teams that Wisconsin sucks.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
The future 2019 national champions suck. All right. Best defenses in the Big Ten.
Oh, it's Michigan. It's not a question. Michigan is the best defense in the country. You cannot argue with it.
Wisconsin.
Jeez.
Let's see. Best defenses. This is a tough one. I'm going to put Wisconsin number 1 and Ohio State number 2.
Oh, God.
I have Michigan and Michigan State tied for number 3.
We had the best defense last year. We returned pretty much everybody.
So,
And what was your record again?
Okay. Well, our offense sucked. We had John O'Corn as our quarterback.
and you had a receiving core that couldn't catch a fucking...
Everybody except for Mo Hurst.
You could throw your receiving core a beach ball, they couldn't catch it. How do you expect them to become good now?
What?
Your receiving core was terrible last year.
I don't care about our receiving core. I'm talking about the defense.
You're talking about how great Shea is and how he's going to suddenly throw for 800 yards.
Don't get started.
If their defense was so good, how'd they let 31 points to Ohio State last year?
Tariq Black broke his foot. He'll be back, and Peoples-Jones is now.
Oh my God. Felton Davis is so much better. It's not even close.
Oh, no. Those two are better than Felton.
Felton Davis is the best wide receiver I've ever seen in college. It's not even close. This dude makes the most ridiculous catches you've ever seen.
He's better than the guy from Oklahoma State or Washington.
Yeah, but Washington was playing in a crappy Big 12 where everybody would just play off him.
What about Hollywood Brown?
I could catch first. I could go out and be a wide receiver in the Big 12 and have 1,000 receiving yards.
Honestly. But anyways, Wisconsin's always good on defense. They'll be good again. Ohio State's just better than Michigan. That's all.
No. Chris, you just have to face it.
No, it's not true.
6-game win streak.
Chris, let me remind you that Michigan State returns more production than Michigan this year and had a 10-3 record.
That's great. Michigan State still sucks.
And they have an easier schedule. And they had a better rushing defense. So therefore they're just as good as Michigan's defense.
Better rushing defense. That is completely absurd.
No. Listen, I only spew facts.
Yeah.
All right. That is going to do it for this episode of the podcast. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will see you next week. Thank you.